And we are live. And hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of our epic campaign, our playthrough of Mercy of the Icons. We are on the last episode of the first movement of the Cyclade Dance, which is the series of mini adventures in the middle of the last Cyclade. And I noticed we're one player down because Soka the beast
Skavara,
thank you, I've forgotten his name.
Soka the Skavara turned out to be a little rat in spirit as well as in body.
A relatively large hyena type thing. The little rat is actually the big capybara that he has left in its cage by where he was sitting. Who else wants to fill us in about what
we should hold it hostage?
The situation you found yourselves in at the end of the last episode.
We went on a very interesting trip through time and space whilst getting
I'll stop you there, John, because you're going to be asked about that interesting trip through time and space by the NPCs. So rather than fill you in on that bit, when you woke up, what do you remember?
I remember thinking that this is obviously a very dangerous seance because one of the people involved in the seance is dead.
Yeah, yes. I believe you saw Tony, or Yakub, your partner, standing over him with a dripping
examining him because no. Saying, yes. I'm glad I killed the bastard.
Yeah, I was going to say, 10 people saw you do it, and you said, I'm glad I killed the bastard. Okay, so we are now, 2 minutes in? And that's the Blackadder quote. Excellent. We win. Cool.
So, no, I was examining the body, and...
but he'd been shot, hadn't he?
He had been shot, he'd been shot. Yeah, he'd been shot, which, at first glance might have seemed to be the cause of death, but... I examined him more closely and determined that it actually wasn't the shot that killed him. He was asphyxiated.
Yes, he was shot in the arm, but what had killed him was asphyxiation.
Yes.
And did you work out the murder weapon by the fact that there were like little bits of downy feathers sticking out of his mouth?
No, I'm not sure.
And there were downy feathers on the Prophet of Abraham's hands.
I'm not sure that we're not metagaming here.
I'm not metagaming. I'm just trying to be funny.
oh, right. Okay.
I was enjoying myself anyway.
We're not Critical Role here. We haven't got professional comedians. Now, where were we? Yes. So you're waking up. Of course, there were two other prophets currently unharmed who are also waking up and taking in the situation. But I'm going to give all of you a free action to do something as these guys are waking up before they say anything. So is there anything each of you want to do?
Probably step away from the body. It doesn't look like I did the killing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe not.
The Prophet of Abraham, you were pretending to be asleep, weren't you?
Yeah.
Indeed, I was. I believe I passed a roll to make sure that I was looking.
Yeah.
I
also noticed that.
Are you pretending to wake up now that exclamations of shock and horror are appearing, or what's your plan?
Yeah, I think so.
Havima, what are you doing?
Waking up, taking in everything that's kind of happening. I don't think I'm doing anything in particular other than kind of coming to getting up, looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, noticing that Soka has gone, that there is a dead prophet, that one of the three that we're trying to recruit. So that kind of scuppered what we were planning, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question. So the person that we saw in the bar that was talking about the the big event that was going to happen at the stockade that night, is he one of the people that's here, or is he somebody separate?
No, he went off. There were a choice of two paths you could have followed as a group.
Okay.
Yeah, you haven't. No, he's nothing to do with this scene. No.
Well,
I
know he may not, but if he doesn't, as I wake up, I'm going to mention, there's some kind of, there's this radical group. They were going to cause some kind of scene tonight at the stockade. They must be trying to get you out of the picture or something. That damn Skavara, he must have been working with them.
Okay.
Look, he's gone. He left his capybara.
And just for your reference, that the fellow's name was Alam Shahood, who tried to befriend you and get you to cause that. So you may remember that. Oh, excuse me, I've just lost your screen. Oh, here you all are again. So the others wake up and you immediately have your story. Oh, Ocean, is there anything you want to do? And you're muted.
I want to be the first person today to have everyone say you're muted. So I succeeded. I reckon that, obviously Oshin knows nothing about the circumstances of this death. I guess I can see the bullet wound or blood or something on the guy's arm, and he's obviously dead. And I saw that Yakub was sort of ministering to him. Not that I think for a second that Yakub had murdered him.
Well, are we armed? Did we bring our guns with us to this, or did we have to give our guns to get in here?
I don't think you did have to give up your guns to get in here. No, you may have had to do it at the bar, but I don't think you left them at the bar. I think you would have put them up on the way out.
I'm sat with a small armory then. Okay, well, I guess I'm just in shock, saying, "Is he dead? Help him! Help him!"
He's beyond help. He's dead. He's dead, Ocean.
Okay, the other two prophets who are either side of the two of you are kind of waking up now, and they take two slightly distinct approaches to what's going on. Just have to remind myself from my notes exactly what they're doing. There they are. So Massa Rubwa, who is, if you remember, the guy from the Queen's Court down in the basement, that's where you'd initially met him.
Oh, yeah.
He sort of takes in the scene and then rings a little bell by his table, and immediately, I've forgotten her name. Give me a moment. Althea comes out of a sort of side door where she and some other children of the song who are kind of attending upon the prophets were waiting. And
did they not hear a gunshot and see the Skavara running?
Well, you'll have to ask them that. But at the moment, Massar is saying we must get out of here. Prepare the evacuation plan.
What do you think's happened? The Skavara's gone. I mean,
are you blaming your companion? He turns to you very briefly. Nawar Dol Dale, this is not what we should be discussing, and it is not what we should be discussing now. But we must bring all these four with us.
With us where? Where are you going?
Immediately, coats are being grabbed and things prepared. We go to a safe house. There will be you must stay closely with myself and I've just pressed the wrong button. Give me a moment. Myself and Nawar. The others will form a decoy party in case we are being watched.
Yeah, we need to do everything we can to protect the prophets. If they attacked one, then chances are whoever did this is going to be on the lookout for the other two.
Okay, I don't understand. If we were all asleep and unconscious, they could have, whoever did this, could have finished off everybody in the room.
Killed all of us, yeah.
If they wanted to. The fact they didn't suggests they didn't.
Yeah, were you, Althea, were you busy? Like, what was, was there some kind of distraction? Why, what was going on? Why didn't you hear him?
I'm going to be making some rolls to see exactly what Althea saw, which may go badly for you, Will.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Althea, when you start talking to her, she flinches, narrows her eyes, and takes a step back, and says to Massa Rubois, "Are you sure you want them all with you?" And Massa says,
"Sorry, Matt. Is Althea throwing a dirty look at the prophet?"
Yes, she is.
Can we notice that?
As in a frightened look, or
yes.
I know what you did last summer kind of look, or?
Well, tell you what, let's see, A, whether you spot it, and B, whether you interpret it with an observation roll.
Okay.
Or whatever we have in this game.
Yes, observation is good.
Observation.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, for the win!
Yes. I've got one success there.
I've got 3 successes.
Ooh.
Right, so Dave, basically you do notice her giving a dirty look. Yeah, Tony, you are interpreting it as possibly fear, possibly distrust of the Prophet of Ibrahim.
But not horror for his murdering one of the prophets for 3 successes.
Well, not horror, no, because she has a job to do. She's putting a coat on. This looks like a well-timed operation, but she is questioning. I have to remember the names again. Massa. She says to Massa, "Are you sure you want to take them all with you?" But she's giving the prophet a dirty look. Given that she's giving you a dirty look, I'm not going to make you roll to see that she is giving you a dirty look. Will, is there anything you particularly want to do to react to that?
Yeah, I think he's kind of got this more affable. Just completely full of it, and almost like a stage magician type demeanor all the time. And I think like as we're getting ready, getting coats on, drop it. I'll drop the act and just like look at her with the intensity that only a true psychopath who uses like religion to manipulate people can pull off. And just give her the look,
I am going to ask you to make a contested manipulation roll with her then.
If Will manages to pull this off, like intimidating her in front of everybody else when she's seen him murder one of them, that's going to be a classy move, that is.
Well, it is going to be a classy. I can see what Will's doing. He's going to give her a steely glimpse. And I'm going to make it difficult for him by spending a darkness point on her. Okay, yes, that'll suitably difficult.
All right. This is the one.
So you're rolling. You're rolling manipulation, Will?
Yeah. This is the ability I'm in max specifically for.
Yeah.
Just paying attention to I could have listened to the last episode of the Effect podcast. It's a little bit of product placement here. Okay.
Excellent.
Good man. Yeah, you min-max specifically for the occasion that you saw that it was coming, which was trying to stare down someone who'd watched you murder somebody. Excellent.
I think specifically, yeah.
That was 2. I'm going to push though.
You got 2 successes and you want to push. Good idea. I would recommend that. I'll have a darkness point back. Thank you very much. She did spend a darkness point on pushing her defense.
No
more successes.
I got 3 more that time.
3 successes.
3 more.
I was going to grab 5. The camera.
Yeah. 5 successes then.
5 successes. She looks away from this game concert.
I think
goes out the door on a pre plan, leaving Noah and. Okay, I'll believe you. Will. Oh my God, you're moving your whole room around.
Yeah, maybe not do that next time.
Yeah, I've always found it's not a good idea to try and show the dice like that because everyone just goes, "Oh my god, C-stick."
Unless I have like a tray.
Well, am I doing? Hold on, give me a moment.
There are some very nice Effect Podcast dice trays that you can get.
Yeah, we've got it's high quality. There you go.
I don't have one to hand. No, that's no good.
Okay, Masarubwa and Nawa collects you all together and says, "We must move quickly. We have a safe house nearby." And
who's threatening us here? Who do you think's done this?
I have no idea, but we move and then we reflect.
On the basis of that, I'm going to draw my carbine.
Is that wise on the streets?
I'm licensed.
Maybe something more discreet.
Okay, I'll have my carbine under my caftan, ready to, but in my hand, ready to go.
Okay, so I was going to make you make a move roll or a dexterity roll to keep up with these guys, but of course they want you with them, so they guide you.
How spread out are the group?
Well,
is it possible?
So they're split in two. So the two prophets are alone with you now. The others have gone off, looking now as you see them go, dressed very similarly to the prophets. And you kind of, as you go out of the courtyard, the room you were in had a little courtyard down through a shop. In fact, as you come out of that shop, they turn right, you turn left, and you're hurrying in opposite directions.
Okay, so it's just the two prophets that are coming with us.
Just the two prophets have come with you. Yeah.
So these guys, they left us alone with their religious leaders, both of them.
Right after yes, they have.
It sounds like they need some new management. I'm sitting here scheming, I think. But yeah, I think in the same way that on the way over that the prophet was studying Havima to kind of get a feel for how he moves and acts and all that. I think I'm keeping a good eye on the prophet and just like the way that they walk and how do they hold their hands and, just the way they look at each other,
Excellent.
As we go, I'm trying to, having seen how Althea reacted to the prophet of Abraham, I'm going to try and keep a very close eye on him as we go.
Okay. So could I get, first of all, you, Will, to roll observation?
Good thing that's not alien. It's 4 ones, but 1 success.
1 success. Okay. So yeah, you are, keeping track of them, but you are kind of looking at them. So now, Tony, can you roll observation? Because Will hasn't managed to do it terribly discreetly.
Whilst we're doing this, I'm watching out because I still think that there might be somebody else trying to kill us.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll let you roll observation later. If you want to roll observation, I'll let everybody roll. John, if you want to roll observation, go ahead and roll observation.
I get two successes on my observation.
Okay, yeah. So you are slightly suspicious of the way that Will is keeping his eyes on the two prophets. Right. Dave.
Yes.
Sorry, who? Could you roll observation? This is you.
Keeping my eyes open.
Yeah, okay. And you've got a talent for
I'll roll
the back of your neck.
I'll roll my extra dice as well separately. So that's okay. So that's 3 successes. 2 of them are on my extra 2 dice. So
well, you don't think you think there isn't anybody following you,
right? Okay.
John,
Havima will have kind of like taken the back of the group, and is being observant as possible, kind of like on the streets, but also counting heads of the party.
Right.
Just to kind of like get a sense of what's going on, because obviously he doesn't know where we're going. So the prophets are unfortunately at the front. So they don't have anyone at the front to,
I'm probably with them. So if something happens at the front, I'm probably there, I guess.
Okay.
But you're
cool.
kind of
that's
keeping
good.
the group together, as it were.
Yeah, I'm herding them from the rear, and I rolled 1 success.
Okay, yeah. Again, you don't see anybody following you, and you're keeping everybody tight. Right. So they lead you through a maze of houses, souks, into a house, through the house, greeting the guests, greeting the people living in that house, who don't seem to be terribly surprised to see them there, going out through the back of the house, going down another alley, climbing up into some of the so basically the class structure of this sort of thing is the higher up the buildings on the ring you are, the cheaper the housing gets, effectively. And they're leading you slowly up into the upper levels here until they come into what looks like quite a seedy boarding house. Massar pulls a key out of his pocket, or out of his one of his pockets, and you open or that opens a door onto a rather seedy sort of boarding bed sitter, effectively. A couple of beds, a small area for eating with cushions by it, and a very basic kitchen, all in one kind of room, no windows.
Just working on Bruce's comment, did anybody pick up a capybara? Because I didn't.
I think we might have left the capybara.
Yeah.
Did you bring it?
Havima's
Oh,
got
good.
the
Well done, Havima.
Havima, because I was getting along with Soka, so I thought, might as well. Sure. We'll
have a new
continue
religion.
we will continue the well-being of the capybara.
I want to find the icon that's got the version that is closest to a capybara, and then that should be my icon from now on.
We'll have to find. I'm sure somewhere in the third horizon there's a capybara worshipping as one of the icons. Immediately, what's his name? Massar puts the water boiler on and arranges some glasses and a teapot and scoops some mint tea into the teapot and says, "We must stay here until we have a signal."
A signal from whom?
Yeah.
And who are we facing? What's the threat here?
Yeah, so kind of.
We don't know whether there is a threat. One of our number has been killed.
But so there's obviously a threat.
Moved...
I mean,
sorry.
There's obviously a threat because.
Well, yes. We don't know whether the threat is against us or against that individual.
What time is it?
Okay.
Right now, it's you've been probably seancing all through the night, so it is coming up to the early morning shift, and the station's fake daylight lights are kind of dimly opened with an early dusk light.
Did we notice an increased police or law enforcement presence on the way over here?
No, nothing out of the ordinary.
So it didn't seem like anything happened last night, right? As far as
there's no riot or anything.
Well, not in this part of town, no.
Okay.
But you haven't actually.
Well, I'm going to bring that up again. It's we have to check out the stockade. Something happened there last night. I'll name drop the fella from the bar. Again, he was talking about the song and hearing the song, and I can tell you're men of peace. This is obviously some kind of mad grab for power. Somebody's trying to take over and replace you guys or something.
So he there's a bulletin point here, so it isn't quite as seedy as it would be. and he flicks on the early morning news. And you're into actually quite exclusive. The lady newsreader is saying, not only is the fire at the sanatorium spreading, there are reports that council member Almas has been killed. Live from the core of Coriolis, our reporter Ari Abuda knows more. Thank you, Jabal. What we're seeing now is people left with nothing after the mysticides taking the law into their own hands. As of late, Governor Dargossian's office has been accused of not taking the situation seriously enough, thus resulting in this murder of Sister Almas and the riots here at the core. The fire at the sanatorium appears to have spread from the main building to the gardens, and fire suppression drones are on site to prevent the flames from reaching the infoteca or the spire. The judicators have dispersed the rioters, but the casualties are nearing 3 figures, and Sister Robwa, head of the sanatorium, is in talks with the governor about potential repercussions. At which point he turns to you, Will, and says, it appears your suspicions are correct.
Have now this the Skavara, maybe he was in league with him or something like that. He said something about it seemed like when the fellow from the bar, what was his name, Alam, when he was speaking, it seemed like he was full of shit almost, or full of it seemed like he was just kind of making things up as he went. I kind of was feeding him a line or whatever, and just whatever I said he agreed with. Have you seen him at your gatherings or when you worship or anything much? This guy and Alam?
Yes, he has been. He's a stevedore. He has been quite a vocal supporter of rising up against the current government. We have somewhat frustrated him. I think now is not the time for any uprising. We are still gathering the children to us. The children of the song are still traveling here to Coriolis.
What kind of welcome do you think they'll receive from the authorities? If all these mystics are showing up after this fire. It seems like this stevedore gave the governor everything he wanted by this. Who benefits? It's an old you get what I'm saying?
No, I agree. Yes.
The eyebrows.
You are wise indeed. Remind me, what is your name?
And he, at this point, he starts stuttering, falling over his words a little bit. I'm the prophet of Abraham. Yes.
Prophet of Abraham. And who is this Abraham?
It's an old earth religion. He pulls out that that old.
Everybody takes a step back. When you talk about old earth, you're talking about Al-Arda. And Al-Arda is part of the First Horizon, the great empire over which the Portal Wars were formed.
I did hear about
that. You're Zenithian, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, of course, so is Nawa here. Nawa says, frustrated. This isn't what we should be talking about. Quickly, we must find out what these people experienced during the seance. The whole reason to bring them to that place was sorry, I've forgotten his name. Zahir's intention to let them hear the children of the song. We should be asking them about that.
Do you know what you think we should have experienced as part of the seance?
No. What did you experience? Everybody hears a different song.
It was well, Havima, you probably tell it better than I do, actually. So, what did you experience?
I experienced the life of another. It was not a song strictly. I experienced what we found out towards the end before we were awoken was the arrival of the emissaries.
Her eyes widen at this, and she'd already got out a tabula and a pointing device. Stylus is the word I'm looking for. And she's writing those down, but her eyes widen. The arrival of the emissaries.
The arrival of the emissaries from Zine. Well, if time permits, the seance happened, and we found ourselves. Sorry, I'm speaking for others. I shouldn't be speaking for others. I found myself in the body of a scientist. I felt her emotions. I felt her thoughts as she experienced this, and we were part of a team. There was an experiment on the surface, not the surface, in the atmosphere of Zine. Zini. I can out of character.
I call it Zine. I call it Zine.
Okay.
I had this little bit of a debate with myself earlier on, or before this adventure started.
We'll
whether it's Zine or whether it's Zeni. But if it's Zeni, that's too close to Zenithian. So I think it's Zine.
Yeah,
I have
Zine.
decided
Okay,
in this world, it's Zine.
So when we're at Zeni,
this wasn't so much a song for Jaruma as it was a Zine quest.
Oh,
well done, John.
Thanks.
Everybody's slow clap.
Havima says he apologizes for speaking on the other's behalf, and he says, I found myself experiencing moments of time, life, through another. Her name was Faisal. She was a scientist on this experiment on Zine, and things were going wrong. Her and the team, we went to go and fix the issue that was happening with the test, because it was happening earlier than was scheduled, and it was scheduled to take into account the blessing of the icons. But things were going wrong with the nodes that were placed in quadrants on Zine to detect. And this is where he starts to lose a bit. Like, he's not particularly sciencey, but he tries his best to kind of recount. It was something to do with portal travel, but not using the portals around stars. I didn't understand it, but Faisal understood quite a lot. And things started to...
Says Massa. Not in the same way that the portals carry physical things between the planets, but similar to portal travel, a form of communication, I think, is what he says.
That helps to explain this next part. As things seem to be going wrong with the experiment, some nodes seem to be failing according to the predicted outputs from the space station. We had traveled to it to try and correct it. We started, our numbers started to be afflicted in different ways. and their personalities were replaced until finally
They exchange a very significant glance.
I was, in a sense, kicked out of Faisal.
And were you the last
and I woke up
to be
in the seance.
returned?
Yes, I was.
When you say finally, did any of the emissaries speak to you before you returned? Did they have a message for us?
They did. But as a player, I couldn't tell you what was said. Sorry.
About being, I do remember them saying something about them being the answer to our prayers, the light of peace. That they were the emissaries.
Trust Tony.
Didn't they have a maniacal laugh at the end?
Yeah.
No. So one of them said to, that was, so John was the last person.
I'm Ming, the emissary.
One of them said, "Friends, we have arrived," and in fact, it was the one I believe. Alam, who played Alam?
That was me.
Right. So after you'd woken up, the body that you were inhabiting said to Havima's Faisal, "Friends, we have arrived. We are the answer to your prayers. When the night is closing in, we are the light of peace. We are the emissaries." So you recount that story, and they say they're fascinated by this.
Do they seem like they are receiving this positively or negatively?
With genuine interest and not fear. So the woman, Nawa, turns to Massa and says, "The Santulans, do you think?" And Massa nods. You have been given a...
Santulans?
Yeah, somebody might want to write that down for some future clue.
Not
Tony?
Not the Sontarans.
Santulans?
Sontarans.
Not the Sontarans. Massa says to all of you, you have been given a very privileged vision. And he turns to you, Dave, and says, "What can you remember that builds on the story that your friend Havima has said?"
I can corroborate that my experience was very similar to Havima's. There is definitely some form of possession, if that's the right word, of others amongst us before I was awoken from the seance.
I think not possession. I think it is a borrowing of the body, an enlightening.
I'm no theologian or great student of the icons. I'm just a subject of the icons. Lady of Tears, may she usher people to their rest. Shut up, Tony. I'm trying to role play, for fuck's sake.
Sorry, carry on.
Sport the mood now. And there was a person whose name I don't remember now, that was possessed by Soka.
That was Yurug.
Yurug, who was suddenly trying to stop this happening and prevent the emissaries from coming, and so Matthew, as player to GM, That whole bit in the last scenario where you did that whole maniacal laugh for like 10 minutes, was that just you pissing about, or did we actually hear that in the seance?
Yeah, you did hear that in the seance, and that was Soka's character Yorg Kalit, who has become the judge. The judge, according to what you know of the emissaries, has stayed on Zine and is a little bit doolally.
But there was something about we are your kind of worst nightmare kind of thing, wasn't there? That they said, that the judge said.
Well, I think that yes.
Your full auto oppressor.
Yeah.
I'm content to be a full auto oppressor. That's what I've aspired to all my life. So that's great. Full auto in every sense of the word, with a knife, with my fists, with a gun. You know, I'm very as a player. I'm very upset. I haven't gone full auto for at least 6 weeks.
So the judge resides on that station where you were at.
That platform, or actually on the station itself,
which has now become not the platform, but the station itself, which has now become a place of pilgrimage.
Okay.
But
in my seance, it said stuff that sounded quite threatening and intimidating, though, didn't he?
Yes, but the Zalosians don't think it is the judge.
Yeah,
and they think it's a heresy. So there may even be some threat from them that if the judge is allowed off the station, then they will move into attack.
The Zalosians, the Zenithians probably protect him just to piss the Zalosians off.
Maybe he is being given that the station is a Zenithian Foundation zone. Yeah, I think there may be a reason why the Zenithians are have turned that station over to become a sort of place of pilgrimage and are letting people come to do it. They don't need to do that. They may be trying to do that to piss the Zalosians off. Yes. And Yakub, do you have anything to add?
I'm not sure there's too much. I did feel before I woke up back here, I did feel one of the emissaries entering the mind of the person that I was.
Oh yes, because you had actually welcomed them into the mind, so you had a less traumatic possession story than the others did. Yes, so carry on.
Because I let them in, and I did recognise, I think the emissary that took over Alam, or was it the one that took over me? Was the emissary that we basically spent all that time trying to track down.
So the one that took over Alam, the messenger, and you now, those of you, Havima and Yakub and Oshan, who saw the remains of the emissary, now recognise that Alam was her, and that she was once Alam, but had become them, had become the emissary, but her physicality was the same. So you all recognised her. Yours, who are you playing, Aisha?
Who was I playing?
Yeah.
I was playing Harish Verma.
Harish. So the person you let in was the merchant, who, of course, you recognised because you are an icon of the merchant. I handed these out entirely randomly, but there's a certain beautiful resonance to how they were allotted.
Obviously, Matt, the icons were guiding your hand, so that must mean you should spend some darkness points for that, surely.
Yeah, maybe. No. I haven't got many. I'm down to 6 darkness points at the moment.
Okay.
So I think as this is going on, the prophet starts kind of rocking back and forth and speaking in tongues a little bit, like and then just flailing about, and then I'm going to activate my voice implants so it's super
Right.
loud.
Yeah.
Okay, and just start going into some creepy scripture. What I tell you in darkness, speak in the light, and what you hear whispered in your ear, proclaim upon the footsteps. This man, he can only be cast out by demons, Beelzebub in the flesh, and just weird revelation, just all that, and super loud. These guys are that laugh is no good.
Okay, so
are we supposedly in a safe house here? And is he making so much noise?
he's making quite a lot of noise because this is this is the preaching to Great Cathedral of whatever. But run with it. Make a manipulation roll. I'm just loving the. I'm loving this because he was playing Layla, right?
Yeah. Layla was the dancer? Not the dancer.
No, he was playing Layla. And so, carry on. I'll do the reveal later.
I'm going to try and, as he's doing this, I'm going to look at Oshin and just try and signal in some way, or just under my breath say, we should not trust this guy.
Okay.
We need to keep it up. We need to watch him closely.
Well, it's the shit out of him.
It's so loud you can probably whisper it to him without anybody else hearing. Okay. How's your manipulation roll gone, Will?
One.
Just one.
Just one success. Okay. You don't want to push that?
You want to bank them darkness points, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't have to indulge him, though, Will.
No.
I mean, this guy's on a he's on a highway to the danger zone or something. He's looking for
Havima's got his hand
no
on
more.
his
So
Mercurian sword.
and I get no more successes.
Sorry, Havima, what did you say? What did you say, Will?
Go ahead and bank the darkness point. I got no extra successes on that.
Right, okay. So, what did you say, Havima? Sorry.
Havima's now got his hand on the hilt of his Mercurium sword.
Okay.
Because he's spent a bit of time. So before all this was getting, so he recounted this seance, and I was going to add, Havima was going to say, this isn't the most of it. We've also had another vision where with the messenger, what I think was the messenger emissary. And I can tell you about that. So he's actually spent some time since then, so the end of Emissary Lost, and between now, he's gone and he's really kind of delved into the religion of the icons, iconography, whatever you want to call it. And so he's probably a bit like, don't be preaching about darkness like that. That sounds like, I'm sure Will was just making it up, but Havima's on edge about that.
Right, okay. So Massa calms everybody because you're all a bit jittery, if only because he's so loud. And so he puts a hand out to say to you, don't worry. And he steps up to you and he puts 3 fingers on the side of your head like that. And you may be able to feel his thoughts becoming your thoughts because he has a mystic power of mind reading.
That's mind melding, right?
Mind reading, this is.
Might blow your subterfuge there, Prophet.
but you got 1 success, did you, Will? On your manipulation?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just 1.
He's got 1 success too. So he comes away going, truly, you are the prophet of the faceless. For your experience, you speak as the faceless does in tongues that little can understand. Your face that you present to us now is like a mask, and he seems to be taken in by what you were saying, and that is genuinely, I thought, he was going to reveal Will to be a total live.
Wait, I pulled that off. Are you kidding?
You pulled it off.
All right.
Or rather, let us say that he could only read your surface thoughts, but you were so in character that he can't see any subterfuge there. So, Havimu, are you saying that you were telling Noah about these other experiences you'd had, or?
I was going to offer them, but we were so rudely interrupted by the Faceless making his entrance.
Well,
is he still making a lot of noise? Is this like a total racket going on now, kind of permanently?
Well, Will, what are you doing? Having fooled the...
I'm not going to push I'm guessing that I felt him kind of feeling around the edges of my brain a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't think I'm going to push it at this point. You know what I mean? If he bought it, let's, no one to hold him, no one to fold him kind of deal. I'm going to hold off.
So
yeah,
it's
I'll
gone
quiet down. I'll
quiet.
put my hand on his shoulder. And
okay, cool.
I'm like a mover.
So we still don't know who killed our brother Prophet, but I feel we have learned as much as we can from your seance. I speak with honesty here. We have been thrust into the position as leaders of a brotherhood and sisterhood of people who do not yet know who they are or what their purpose is in life. We call ourselves the children of the song. I cannot carry on.
So you mentioned Santulans before. What was all that about? Who are these people? Are these the people threatening you?
No.
Santulan system. That's not on any star map I recognize.
Are they a crime family from the Bay Basin? The Santulans.
You know the Portal Wars. How well do you know your history of the Portal Wars, he says? I mean, it happened hundreds of years ago.
Well, I can make a culture roll, if that helps.
Okay.
120 years ago.
I think it happened longer ago than that. There are conflicting evidence for how long ago the Portal Wars ended in the books.
Yeah.
Can I also make a culture roll?
However, now we've got the Coriolis calendar, we should be able to work it out properly because.
Culture rolls. I could do one of those. Yes, please.
Very well.
I've got 3 successes on my 4 culture dice.
Okay, right.
I got 2.
So you will be aware that the Portal Wars, as far as it's not a thing that happened to you as a Zenithian, Dave, but while you were traveling from Al-Arda to the Third Horizon, a great war happened.
Well, I was traveling.
Well,
traveling.
Oh no, sorry. No, actually, you're Zenithian by culture, not actually by.
Yeah.
While Will was traveling, who is actually
okay. Whilst the Zenithians were traveling, right?
While the Zenithians were traveling, there was a great war. People had left Al-Arda running from the oppressive emperor there. First of all, to the Second Horizon via portals. And then when portals were discovered to the Third Horizon, people moved on. The Mogul fleet, the nomads, were among the first to come to the Third Horizon, escaping from the from wars between the First and Second Horizon. In the Second Horizon, and the others were the Zlosians. So the Zlosians and the Moguls were the first come. They each say. You may have different opinions. The Debarans claim to be the first settled planet in the Third Horizon. So there's a lot of there's a lot of debate about this. The second horizon was run during the wars by an organization, not an emperor, but an organization known as the Symmetry. And the Santulans were the, if you like, the Council of the Symmetry. So this is from your ancient history, and it's hard, it's almost mythical. It's not terribly well recorded. But the Santulans come for your three critical successes. From your critical success, you are aware that the Santulans are said to have been the leaders effectively in the second horizon.
And the context that they mentioned the Santulans in was... Because they definitely mentioned Santulans, which is obviously where I...
but that was in your experience of what I was telling you. So I'm not sure what I'm going to tell you again.
I'm asking them. Remind me, what is it about the Santulans that you...
Are you saying that the emissaries are Santulans?
He spends a bit of time thinking, and he says, we are in contact, communicative contact, or we have been in contact, I should say. The messenger, the emissary that has now become the machine icon, has been in contact with myself and with Nawa here, and passed us messages from the second horizon.
And what were those messages?
Essentially, a great darkness is coming to the third horizon. And our friends in the second horizon. No, from Al-Ada, from the first horizon. From the Nazarene sacrifice. And our friends in the second horizon are helping us prepare for the great darkness. Warning us, but also helping us. With them, the emissaries brought what people call the mystic's disease. The Santulans they wield powers that most of humanity in the third horizon cannot understand. Those of us who are children of the song have been outcast from society because we have shown those powers. We don't know how to control them. But under the messenger, we were learning how to use them effectively, how to keep them hidden when out in public.
These are the mystic. This is the origin of the mystic powers.
This is what he's telling you is the origin of the mystic powers.
Yeah, I'm asking him just to clarify that is what he's saying.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes. That is what we believe. It is not to say that there have not been mystics in the third horizon before they came, but this explosion of powers and of powers gifted upon the untrained has been possibly a side effect of what you experienced in your dream, in your seance.
And the mystic infection, for want of a better word, has come from the second horizon.
And it's come deliberately.
The better word to use may be gift rather than infection or disease.
But some people get infected with it or gifted with it, but others don't.
Yes, indeed.
And it's not
at this point, Havima will chime in. You speak of messages or communication with the messenger icon, or now the machine icon. We were perhaps privileged, perhaps unfortunate enough to be with the messenger emissary, sorry, not icon, messenger emissary, as their body finally gave in. And shortly after that, we had a shared vision, Yakub, Ocean, and myself. We found ourselves in.
Now I picks up her tablet and her pen again.
We
found yourselves
and
where?
This is my this is, as a player, I'm trying to recall this, so I might get some details wrong. Because I don't write notes. I'll just pull up the PDF and skim through some of whatever was said. But he recalls we were standing in a field, and we were approached by someone in some fairly simple clothing, and they said something about not having much time. And he's going to try and he will. The character.
You want to make a
Avima
wits roll?
Has done a much better job of remembering all this.
Make a culture roll. Actually, you've got culture, haven't you? Yes, and you've been studying.
I do.
This.
Can we give him dice of help, because we were also involved?
Tony and Dave, yes, you can give a dice of help.
So have 2 extra dice, Jonathan.
I will gladly take that. And I got 2 successes.
Right, so I won't give you the whole story then. So what you can
I've got
remember.
the PDF in front of me, but
okay. Do you want to scan for the PDF? And it's on page 180.
180. So I'm reading through this. I'm not going to be very good. I'm actually a very slow reader, unfortunately. But it calls. We don't have much time. The Towan incident was just the beginning. We'd hoped to reach you sooner, but the song wasn't strong enough. Bits and pieces is pulling out. We hope to stir your forgotten memories and ready you for the coming storm. But the winged shadow threatens everything. The clouds above are suddenly lit up bright from behind. Deafening bang reverberates through the valley. Oh no, this is what you're. It's not what they're saying. Sorry. The butterfly sought to destroy me by sapping energy from the darkness. Something is about to break through. We will meet again, but you must return home now. So this is all very sing-songy. He describes, this was almost melodically said to us, I think, if I'm remembering. I believe
right. Says now that you met Ernie and Argonas.
Eric and Ernie was that?
No, Ernie URNI N Argonas. And you were privileged to have that communication with him. Since they have become the machine icon, the communications have been less clear. We have not heard from the Second Horizon for some time. But
so with that, does that mean talk about the butterfly and the butterfly ships that we've come across? Does that mean that they are from the First Horizon? Because they seem to be threatening.
Yes,
us.
That is our belief.
So they are First Horizon pioneers or trailblazers or whatever. Getting a beachhead in the Third Horizon.
Indeed.
Prior to what? An invasion?
Yeah. How did they get here?
Our friends in the Second Horizon fear that the Second Horizon has withstood attempts upon them by the Third Horizon. I think they fear, honestly, that we will be the back door. They can take the Third Horizon first and then finally defeat the Second Horizon.
And yeah, as Yakub said, how did they actually get to the third horizon?
And what sort of?
Is there a portal?
Because there are no.
we need to go and find.
There are no portals, as far as we know, between here and the first horizon, are there?
We believe the Taoan incident is one of the methods.
So there is a portal to the first horizon in Tawan somewhere.
Or somehow the Aladans have corrupted that portal. And
right, okay. Okay.
We don't know.
Co-opted the portal to do what they want it to do.
Would you help us find out?
Yes. I would.
Yes. Yeah. So would I.
Havima's welcome, but I'm not sure about the Prophet though.
I mean, Havima would join, but I don't know what way. I don't know if this is a direct continuation in the coming weeks, or if this.
Leave that to Matt to worry about.
Up at a later date.
We can have this discussion on the Discord. I feel that Prophet Abraham's place is here on Coriolis, worming his way to become the replacement third prophet somehow.
Yeah,
Am I right?
I think he's sticking around.
But whether Havima, you want to join the team in the next adventure, we shall see.
I need to get my ship back.
Yes.
Yes.
It's what we came here for originally, wasn't it?
The whole point 6 weeks ago of coming on this part of the scenario campaign was to get my ship back.
To pick up one of these guys and take them somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, especially recruiting these guys for the
to help us
and take them to the.
Are you telling them that?
No, not at this point. No, I'm just a player's player, reminding us what our plan was.
Okay.
What our orders were, anyway.
Our orders were to try and recruit one of them and take them to a hegemony naval base in Amado.
That was it, yeah.
Because they want, to use them to try and control Coriolis, bring the governor down.
Yeah. Frankly, for me, that feels like a secondary concern right now.
Yeah.
Whilst we want to be sorting out what the hell's going on with these Santulans. So the Santulans, then, according to the prophets, and I'm asking them this, these are your friends. These aren't the bad guys.
Indeed, not.
The bad guys are the Nazarene sacrifice who are coming from the first horizon. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the tales say the Nazarene sacrifice were destroyed by the Zolossians and by the Draconites.
Well, in the third horizon they were, but
third horizon,
is the first horizon basically packed full of Nazarene sacrifice?
No, we think the Nazarene sacrifice were a faction of the third horizon who were allied with the first. We don't think the butterfly ships that you have seen are Nazarene sacrifice. We believe they are from the first horizon, but they are supported by agents. And he turns to you, such as that stevedore that caused that riot. It would not surprise us to think that he might be of the Nazarene sacrifice, for there are still followers of the Nazarene sacrifice. Some months ago, indeed, a raid was made on a library in Mirror where a book of a sacred book of the Nazarene sacrifice was stolen, and many deaths were made. Such is the viciousness of the Nazarene sacrifice.
Yeah, what happened to the people who did that?
We didn't really succeed in stealing it, did we? So.
As far as I'm aware, they went to a prison planet and were never seen again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Excellent. Yes. Well, never seen again until you finish that scenario anyway, Matt. But the last time they were seen was they were pounding this shit out of some fucking AI computer that was Giving them a hard
Being
time.
annoying, yeah.
I have to ask whether we don't just meditate. We do watch the bulletin. And we saw you, the two of you at least, being held close by Captain Kassar of the Zenithians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't deny it, can we?
No.
I have to ask, are
It's on
you
record.
spying on us for them?
No.
No. To
Well,
be fair,
I'm not, anyway.
Yeah, in interest of full disclosure, our orders from them were to spy on you and indeed to try and recruit you. But we're quite quickly finding that our motives and objectives don't necessarily align with those of our supposed employers.
By asking you to help us, we will put you in a difficult position with them.
That's fair enough. I think we can probably spin that with them that we are acting on our initiative to further their goals. That's fine. I don't think there needs to be a problem there.
They asked us to try and recruit you and bring at least one of you to a naval base in Amido for a debriefing. I think we can probably quite convincingly argue that you weren't interested in that and that we couldn't persuade any of you to come.
We will not be able to reward you such as they can.
No, we understand. We understand that. I think we're learning there's more to life than money.
You're just saying that while Dave's currently offline, aren't you? Because I'm sure that Dave would have a very different opinion. Very well. We can give you, and he describes what is the Mercy of the Icons group talent. So make a note of that. And then you hear in your mind, you hear his voice. He stops speaking, and you hear his voice in your mind, and he says, "We can communicate in this manner, so no one need ever know that you are communicating with us."
I shall. So I can try and talk back to him in my mind without speaking. Yes.
I'm not sure whether that's really clear, but I'm going to say, for the purposes of this one, at this close range, and at this first time, yes, you apparently can speak back to him with your mind if you choose to do so.
I will say that could be quite convenient. What I would say is initially is don't trust the prophet of Abraham. Talk to Althea. Ask what she saw in the seance.
He's screwing you over, Will. He's screwing you over.
He doesn't know that, though, does he? Because I'm doing it with my mind, not out loud.
I'm one dice roll away from screwing myself over anyway. I mean,
He clasps his hands together in thanks and makes a small bow. So there is just the matter of your ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will know
while you were gone, while you were in the little ship, by the way.
Sorry? Yes.
So they can't pay us as much as the
or anything. I think.
Or did anything. So I guess
I'm content to play off one with the other. That's fine. As in, not play off one against the other, but take the money from what's the name? The hegemony, and keep them sweet by drip feeding them enough credible information whilst we carry out.
We're still working for them and doing our best.
Yeah.
Was there a deadline to arrive at Amido? Or was that see you there in a few months?
Yeah, it was a see you there when you've got your ship. and one of the Santulans, one of the 3 prophets.
Well, I think,
okay, so there wasn't a deadline.
Well, I think we can always probably say, something, developments in the field, chasing down some very important leads. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. But
so maybe, maybe the prophet of Abraham could come in useful after all.
How?
By pretending to be one of the actual prophets, and we take him to Amido. Hand him over and say, here's one of your prophets.
But they know
promoted
him.
Prophet of Abraham.
The downside being that the Zenithians know him because they recruited him.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Valid point.
I'm just thinking that maybe we could retcon this, that the prophet of Abraham has always been intended to be a Zenithian plant. And although they asked you to bring one of the Zenithians to them, they were actually, without your knowledge, using you as a vector to insert their agent, the prophet of Abraham. How does that sound, Will? Okay with that. But they say
it might be a good idea. The stevedore, if you're wanting to, get the burr to, head out to port, the little breadcrumbs you were talking about. We know the name of the stevedore who was responsible for the riot last night. That's pretty good intel that you could give, that shows that you're plugged in to what's going on with the children of the song and all that. And he's not with the, the prophets. So you're not screwing over them either. That might be your ticket to getting your ship out of dry dock.
It's
not all bad.
It makes a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Although it is held by the I want to very quickly. We're coming short of time, so I have got a plan for dry dock, which I want to tell you about. But he's saying yes, it may. Let us say that you will convey a message on our behalf. We thank the Zenithians for their offer of hospitality, but we cannot accept at this moment. We will, however, pass on this intelligence as your. We're going to have to find a different name of you. Maybe we'll call you Abraham. As your friend says,
Abraham, the prophet of Abraham. That sounds perfect.
Well, he's got promotion. He's going to become a prophet of the children of the song. So, maybe this little bit of a snippet of intelligence, if you were to give it to the judicators, and we can potentially liaise. We have some contacts among the. Well, we had one who lies dead back at the place where we had the seance, who was our man in the guards. But yes, if you could pass the details of this fellow to any contacts you have among the judicators, that may ease your passage with the Zenithians, with your Zenithian paymasters.
Yeah, it's an easy early win because they're not expecting us to turn up to Almedo for some long time yet.
No.
And if we give them a bit of intelligence straight away about the ringleader of what's going on here, they want to pick him up.
Would faction standing work as a way to help? Would that talent apply here?
Oh yeah, yes, that would. With the Zenithians, you have faction standing as your talent, do you?
I do, yeah.
Very well. So, in fact, we'll just
if we're going to roll with this plant idea, then yeah, because I think we were going to make it so it was the talent applied to the children of the song. But if we're going to do this whole double agent thing, then it probably makes more sense that the faction standing goes with the Zenithians, right?
Yeah, yes, particularly now that Tony said, whatever you do, don't trust him. So I think you're going to have to retain your faction standing with the Zenithians. But yes, we could use you as a conduit to the Zenithians, passing them such information as we all agree they need to know. And we can pass this along with your with a message from you as well, Ossian and Yakub, to show that you are doing your work, while it liberates you to investigate further the Nazarene sacrifice and the children of the song. I am going to cut. So anyway, cordial goodbyes are had. Tony knows how they're going to communicate with you. I just want to cut to the ship. What are your plans? What were your plans for getting the ship out of the Foundation dry dock on the net?
I guess it was. I hadn't really thought much beyond. It would be a bit of just a covert operation and steal it back, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to tell you
because we've got the wherewithal to change the transponder and give it a new name, haven't we? So
yeah. Oh, I did have a thought about that though. It had a new name provided by the Dars of Dabaran for your infiltration into the Tawan zone. So it suddenly dawned on me that maybe what you've got is a transponder with the Najira name. If you want to keep Najira,
okay,
you have another name. That's what you've got back.
I was thinking of calling it the Nan Abtal, which is Arabic for "We Are Heroes."
Right. Okay, if you want to change the name to that one, we'll have that one.
Okay.
But I was thinking I was slightly forcing you to change the name. But no, let's have.
Yeah, I don't mind changing the name. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm just finding something here which tells me about the guards they have. Closing event. There we go. So with a little bit of investigation, you are aware of the fact that there are 3 guards posted in the hangar where your ship is, armed with Vulcan carbines. But I'm just going to cut to a slightly different scene. How many passengers can you take?
Oh, at least. Well, I think I could probably take something like 16, actually.
Okay.
In stasis, I've got 16 stasis beds.
Right. Okay. When you turn up to
crew of 3 or 4, so 12 passengers, maybe.
You're when you sneak up to the hangar to take out these guards, you find a pile of 3 unconscious bodies by the door and about 10 Skavara.
Is one of them Soka?
No, none of them are Soka.
It's one of them.
None of them are owl. Okay. But they say, "Ours sends regards."
We love Owl.
She love you. She say you give us lift.
we have crate in cargo for you. Yes.
I think we've got that capybara still too, right?
We want. Oh, you bring food. And somebody else slaps the first one and says, "No, sacrifice, not food." Where are you going?
You should have got Thomas in to do this bit. We should have just had a guest appearance for 5 minutes.
Bring the Skavaras.
Yeah. And where would all like us to take you?
Wherever, not Coriolis.
Okay, we could drop you in Kua then.
Kua good. And
they've taken the guards out for us.
We shall end the adventure.
I think as we're leaving, I'm going to try and do an anonymous message back to the guard saying, they're rampaging Skavara in the docks. They're beating up guards. Just to kind of cover the fact that they've beaten them up just for our ship.
Coming from the hero of the horizon. I don't know.
Okay, Tony, can you make a data gin to make that an anonymous message?
Because I don't think I can.
One success. Do you want to push that, Ocean?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't
Thank
wanna-
you for the darkness point.
I don't want to blow it right now.
No, I get no more success. One success. No more successes. Just the one.
Just the one success.
Just the one.
Okay, well, you make it an anonymous message. I think it could probably be quite easily traced if they want to trace it, but we
They're too busy chasing down Skavara.
Yeah, looking for the Skavara. Okay, so experience very quickly in the last 5 minutes.
So where are we actually going? Are we going to Talon? Is that the
Well, we'll sort that out in the next adventure.
Right, okay.
Okay. I've slightly changed my plans, and you will see them on the Discord. But if people can make the next adventure, then it'll be to one place, and you'll be contacted by thought transference. So everybody gets an experience points for being in the adventure.
Cool.
Did you overcome a difficult challenge to help your crew to reach its current goal? Bear in mind, this is a bit weird. I'm going to give people 2 experience points for being in the adventure, because in a way you're in 2 adventures in this adventure.
We were
True.
4 characters deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think you particularly overcame any difficult challenges in the real world, but I think everybody gets an extra experience for the challenges you faced in the Song for Jaruma.
Yeah. Cool.
I am going to say to Thomas, if you're listening, Thomas, that you get an extra experience point for putting the crew at risk. And also, Will, you get an extra experience point for putting the crew at risk because of your problem. That's in the real world, murdering people, and, well, both of you murdering people, actually. In the Song for Jaruma world, pretty much everybody used their personal problems, didn't they?
I did, yep.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to let everybody have an extra experience point for that. So we are looking at 2 for attending, another 1 for difficult challenges, another 1 for all of you, but 2, a second 1 for the putting the crew at risk for Will and for Thomas. Did you learn something new about yourself or another PC? Yeah. I think I'm going to give everybody 2 experience points for that.
2?
Wow.
Yeah, because you learned about the PCs that you were the spirits you were inhabiting, and I think you learned some stuff about you.
We've learned that the prophet is a chancer, but he's just there. It's just good enough.
I think it makes the most sense for Havima to offer to stay on Coriolis with the Children of the Song.
Okay, we can talk about that offline.
To go jet setting with Ocean and you. Okay.
Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddies?
Thomas was going to, but he never quite got around to being able to.
Not sacrifice a capybara. I think it's a different
one. Not sure I did. No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Did you act in accordance with your icon? And quickly saying, "May the Holy Mother of Tears be praised," or whatever you just said about 10 minutes ago, does not count.
I wasn't saying it.
It's lovely role playing. Good, because you're not getting an XP.
I can't even remember what the accordance of my icon, the messenger is.
I had to write
mine
it
is
down.
Messenger. I can't remember what the.
Right. Well, let's say, you know, yeah, I've been quite generous with the experience points because you've done 2 adventures. So let's call it that then.
Cool.
So I think that is 7 for Thomas and Will and 6 for the rest of you, which is for all of you a new advance, which we'll discuss next time.
Excellent. Good stuff.
Excellent.
Meanwhile, shall we say goodbye to our viewers because it's 10 o'clock. And
thanks for watching, everybody.
We will return not next week because Dave and I are both taking a weekend away next week. So there'll be nothing next Monday, but we will return on the 10th of May for the next adventure, the beginning of the next movement of the Cyclade dance.
That's when I'm allowed to leave quarantine. It'll be a double holiday.
Yeah,
to go back to school. So, you know,
excellent.
I don't have faces popping up on the side of the screen either. So, looking forward to it.
I'm glad everybody's feeling better there, Will.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, cool.
Brilliant. Let me just say thanks all to the guys on the thing. And then.
See, if they're still watching, Matt, you can say thanks to them here. You don't have to say thanks to them in the text.
Yeah, I kind of like to say thanks on the comments as well.
But just say.
Anyway, thank you all, everybody watching still. It's been great fun having you on board, and we've been keeping an eye on your comments.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.